Hello everybody, I'm Kevin. I'm not childish. I'm not mature either. But I can see that in this world it's about time that we admit that we need to discipline our children. And yes, I'm talking about spanking as well as not giving rewards for everything that a child does, and not thinking that you can actually reason with a child. But I'm not going to tell you here how to or when physical discipline is required. Because here's where the problem lies, and I understand why people don't want to spank their children, because it can go the other way. It can go to where it's actually child abuse, and there's a lot of that too. So I'm not really going to get into, I'm going to talk more about philosophy of the world and how it's going to go, because we can't come up with a clear definition, or we can't even discipline ourselves to do the right thing when we should. So where is the line? I don't know. When should we spank? When should we praise? When shouldn't we spank? When shouldn't we praise? That line it's just not clear at all. But I can tell you, looking at what's going on around the world right now, it's clear that lack of discipline as children is putting us in a bad way. We have what we call the millennials, and even though I don't think it is quite as bad as how they present it, but it is a fact. They meaning the children that grew up in that age group, believe they're entitled. They don't have any clear idea where money comes from. And so a lot of them think that like college should be free. Only the thing is since it's going to be tax money that pays for their college, ultimately they will end up having to pay for it, or somebody will that is actually working and earning a legitimate salary. We need to step back. We really need to consider the idea that it's not just discipline for children, and it's not just rewards for them. It's for adults, because we're not mature either. We lack the ability to make decisions a lot of times. And where are we getting the rules from that tell us what to do? What is right and what is wrong? When have we gone too far? When have we not just, in other words, when have we taken from somebody else? When have we hurt another person? And when we have hurt them, how much do we have to pay back? But we have to pay back. If we don't, we'll just do the same thing again. And really, look at our I'll call it welfare. I don't like calling it that either, but I can't think of the right term. Our system for helping people. We have people 3-4 generations that have been just on the government's back, and they don't even think anything of it. They have no clue that they shouldn't be doing that. That is not their their end goal. They're going to live their life and accomplish nothing except to put our country and the world, really, in a worse place. They are going to consume everything that the people that really work have done. And at some point that has to end. And we can look at history and see how this stuff happens. I don't even understand why the intelligent people, I'm calling them intelligent, I should say the people in power, oh, yeah, because they're not intelligent at all. In fact, we're smarter than they are. But people in power don't even look at history and realize where we're going. It's clear. I mean, you can see it. There has never been a government that survived forever. And so, why should we think even in the United States that we are going to survive? We're not. We're going to go down that slippery slope as they're using now. They always have buzzwords nowadays, and that's the one we're dealing with. And we'll forget the past and all our mistakes. In fact, just the idea that we take down all our statues and in a way we're going to rewrite our history even though it's not accurate. And we'll live in the wrong way, and we will make the same damn mistakes as every other country has ever done. We're going down the tubes. Maybe tomorrow, maybe 100, maybe 200 years. I don't think we'll get that far. It's amazing how we don't look at our history. But when we look at, but there is a place that gives us a stable system for living, you know, even though I can tell you this won't save us either. But the Holy Bible does give us some good, solid ground rules. And yes, it even talks about disciplining children. And yes, after Christ came, the idea of discipline, you might say, changed to where we were to be more thoughtful of each other, realizing that our goal is that we all grow to as close to maturity as possible. And stoning each other to death isn't exactly going to help a person get to heaven. You know, and even if you don't believe in God, those principles are good. It talks about how, you know, children should respect their parents. But it also says parents need to respect their children. If you don't give them a good example, what do you expect them to do? When you have children, it isn't just to put new bodies in this world. You're supposed to take your intelligence and try to put it into them and help them to grow. And I'm not a good example of it, but I do understand it and understand it better now. And I'm challenging you, not with your children necessarily, but in all areas. Think about the other person. Think about how they would like to be treated. Consider all the different views. Your view is not the only one. And so because of that, This world wasn't made just for you. It was made for all of us. And whether you want to believe in God or a spiritual being or some form of spiritual world, it is out there. And it's the only guidance that we really have. It can help us balance, although I can tell you at this point, there is an end. If nothing else, just by history, you can see it. At some point, things are going to have to drastically change. It'll be very painful. What it really is going to look like in the end, I don't know. I believe that, God's in charge and that He created all of us, but He also gave us the ability to think for ourselves and make decisions on our own. So we got a big challenge ahead of us, but I think if you can't even see that raising children the system for raising children needs to change, if you can't see that, then there's no picture out there of the rest of the world you're going to be able to see. Certainly, children are a great way to get an idea of how everything else goes. In fact, in the Bible, God uses children a lot as examples. And really, I think we're supposed to have a childlike curiosity. We're supposed to have a childlike happiness and enjoy things, when the time is right, when we've fulfilled our obligations and we can go out and play. That's the way it is. So you finish your work, you pay your bills, go out and have some fun. Don't hurt anybody. If you do, make restitution. Be honest. Another thing nobody can do is be honest. I have some other ideas. I don't know that it's right time to share them. Like I say, I would venture to say we're not going to wake up. There's not going to be some kind of great revival that changes this country or even the world. And that's going to be an ugly time. Yeah, it's got to happen. Just like every other thing that happens, sooner or later it's got to happen. So, thanks for listening to me. Try to gain a higher level of immaturity. Try to look at the other person's, not just their view, but look at what maybe is the view we should be looking at. All right? And I'm sure it isn't either the one that we have or the one that they have. Somewhere there's a view that's the right one and that we both can agree on it. So, have a good day. Ponder this before you go to sleep tonight. Think about it. See ya. Love you.